Hello, this is Dan the Furniture Repairman. Today we have a little bit of a different repair. We're going to repair the backrest on this Barstool top. It's loose and wobbly and a little different technique. It involves a little bit of upholstery work, not too much. So first thing we're going to do is flip it over and we're going to remove the dust cover from the back. And we need to investigate a little and see what is wrong. So there's just some staples holding the black fabric right on there. You could see them. We're going to take these tools and start pulling staples, and hopefully we don't tear the fabric where we have to replace it. If we do tear it, it's not a big deal. We can get more of it and just put new stuff on. Okay. The fabric we want to be real careful with is the actual upholstery fabric because that would be harder to replace. That would probably require a repair. So right now I'm just popping the staples, and you can see I uncovered there's a bracket there and a bunch of screws that have pulled out, and the bracket itself is loose. But it's not just loose from the seat, it looks like it's loose from the backrest. So I pull the rest of the black fabric back and there's a couple more brackets, but it looks like this will come completely apart. Now, this is more and more common in furniture. These are flat packs. They get shipped from overseas in pieces, which let them go in a smaller box, and they get assembled here. And they're not as sturdy as a piece that's made and bolted all together, but they do work well. So you can see the first bracket is very sturdy. This one is wiggling on the backrest also. So we're going to have to figure out what's going on there. So we're not done with our investigation yet. So again, our trusty staple puller, we will put the link below. I do like this staple puller. It has a duckbill front to it, so it's very difficult to tear fabric. And you can see as I'm working, what I'm doing is I'm working in the direction where if anything slips, I'm not going to damage visible fabric. So I'm just working the staples a little bit loose with this, getting them pried up. And then what I'm going to do is come back with my trusty wire cutters right here and then just pop them out. Okay. Take your time, slow and steady, don't damage anything. And then as we pull this fabric back, we see the top fabric coming down. And then as we pull that back, we can see there's an Allen screw in there and that's loose. And that's the only screw. It's probably attached to a T-nut on the other side of the wood. We don't need to worry about that. We just know if we tighten this, that bracket will get nice and sturdy in there. So there's my Allen wrench, and I'm going to just keep twisting it until I feel like it's got a nice tight feel to it. I'm not going to over tighten it because I don't want to damage anything, but typically the tightness level you want to go to is how you would turn the faucet off. And that's done now. I'm just stapling my fabric back. Now I'm using a pneumatic stapler just because we do a lot of stuff and we got to be fast. You see me stretching the fabric with my hand. I'm not putting the staple through my finger. I'm being a little careful with that. But you could use a manual staple gun. Not that big of a deal. You could even use like a regular stapler and open it up. It'll probably work out, just be a lot harder. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the gun around. I'm going to staple the other fabric on. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to reattach the seat. Now the screws had pulled out of one of that middle bracket right there, and they were attached with that smaller screw on the bottom. We're going to replace those screws with those longer, larger ones that you see on the top. I'm putting the screws back in the same hole. There's no need to pre-drill anything. You could just use a manual screwdriver. I like this ratcheting screwdriver. It is a bigger screw, so it's going to grab and hold, and I'm going to tighten it up till I feel it seat very well. And you can see I put the screws back in the brackets on the sides, put all 5 screws in, and then she's good to go. Next step is to put the dust cover back on the bottom, and this repair right here is basically done. Now if you tear the dust cover, sometimes you can basically staple it in a way that it'll look presentable, or just go get some new black fabric and cut it so it fits there. So I'm basically going to pop it in the same way they did. Has to kind of go in on an angle because of the way the seat's designed. This isn't our standard repair. I mean, it's not an antique, but it is a set of 3. The chair is probably only 2 or 3 years old, and you can spend a little bit of time and you can fix something and put it back in the world. That's a real good thing to be able to do. So take your time. Don't be afraid because it's a fabric piece or it's an upholstered piece. You can usually figure it out. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Dan, the Furniture Repairman. If you can hit that like and subscribe button, be much appreciated. If you want me to do any specific videos, put them in the comments below. Any questions, comments, anything like that, I'll try to get back to you. You all have a good day now.